Alright, I just got back from Peru and I figured the first thing that I would do is compare Peruvian society with American society, which is basically a fancy way of me to just remember my experience in Peru and how it differs from American society that I currently live in. But before I get into that, I need to take a moment to properly appreciate this proper souvenir that I got in Peru. This is an alpaca poncho because when you go to Peru, you need to buy an alpaca piece of clothing or else you wasted the entire purpose of going to Peru, which is to get alpaca clothing because their signature dish, their signature souvenir is their alpaca textiles. So it doesn't have to be a poncho. My mom got a scarf, but I highly recommend the poncho because this thing is clearly sick. I can't express just how much this actually interests me. Hands down the best souvenir I've ever gotten. We can observe countless, the attention to detail. How do you acquire this level of detail? The quality is exquisite. We got a llama here. We got another llama here. The detail on these llamas. Look at the detail on these llamas. We got a pattern on the side. We got colors, more stuff. It's crazy. And it looks like I have sleeves and stuff, but I don't. It's literally just a giant square. It's like a big blanket. The attention is crazy. The detail is crazy. The quality is crazy. It feels nice. I'm actually gonna use this souvenir. Unlike all the other international souvenirs you buy and it just rots in your room for a year, I'm actually gonna wear this. That's crazy. And you can flip it inside out. You get the opposite color. It's just a different color on the inside. You can change style. This thing is way too good. And it's 150 sols. The conversion to USD, that's under $50, which in my opinion, that's a snag. All right, this thing is top tier. So now I'm not glazing my piece of clothing. Yeah, I look like a priest in this. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the most majestic thing I've ever worn or had the experience to wear. If I'm being honest, America has their fashion trends, but I don't really know what they're doing. If everyone in the country wore this, that would be fire. If everyone went to school, if I went to school and everyone was wearing one of these, I would actually society would be 200% better. But I'm exaggerating a little, but this is a quality piece of clothing. But to get started with this comparison between American and Peruvian society, I made a list of the most dramatic differences that scales down to some less minor differences. But this list is obviously going to be my opinion. But the biggest difference between the societies, which is obviously it's obvious, but the language barrier. Not surprisingly, everyone in Latin America, everyone in Peru at least, everyone speaks Spanish. Which who knew people in Latin America spoke Spanish? The thing is, this was actually a giant slap in the face. I was kind of dumb, but I knew we were going to Peru. I knew everyone in Peru spoke Spanish, but for some reason it just didn't click in my brain that would be a trouble to me because I go to Peru, I'm oh yeah, sure, they all speak Spanish. I can still communicate with them easily though. It's not that difficult. I haven't left the country in so long, man. But I forgot that other countries exist that don't speak English. So when we got there, I instantly had troubles when people would be oh blah, 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 and I'd just be frick, this is gonna suck. So in a desperate emergency attempt, I downloaded Google Translate and then I downloaded Spanish off Google Translate. And then I just started doing some key phrases. So I learned ¿Dónde está? Where is? ¿Cómo estás? That's just how are you? I've never said that to anyone. Gracias. That's the most common. You say that literally anywhere because everyone's so nice. Everyone just says gracias. Buenos días, buenos noches, buenos tardes, whatever time of day it is. What else? The cuánto tiempo, where, how much, and how long is it gonna take to go somewhere? I learned just a bunch of general Spanish phrases to help communicate through the natives and talk to people on the street and get help and directions to go places. But it actually did help a lot. I go places ¿Dónde está? Freaking wherever that is. Where's that place? Where's that bus? Where's that taxi? How much is it gonna cost? Where's it gonna go? How long is it gonna take? And they'd be 5, 10, and I'd be nice, got it. But yeah, the language barrier, a giant slap in the face. I was just naive as hell, thinking that everything would be easy, but no. Going somewhere with a different language, it kind of sucks. And I was actually really mad in the first 2 days ish because I was thinking I don't speak the language, and I'm obviously not gonna learn as much about like the people. And I was also annoyed the fact that I'm currently taking in Latin. I'm not even currently taking it, but if I took Spanish last year, I would have taken Spanish 1. This year I would have been halfway through Spanish 2, and then that would have helped a lot. But then again, I realized taking high school language barely helps in even like knowing the language at all. At least from the way I've heard it from my friends, because I know some people like who are going to AP Spanish next year, and I asked them like, can you even keep up with a Spanish conversation? And they're like, nah, it's a different level. But I mean, like taking Spanish still would have helped, but whatever. It's a language barrier. I learned them key phrases. I was able to communicate with some people on the basic caveman level, so like it is what it is. But yeah, language barrier, in my opinion, the top difference in like comparing like American and Peruvian society. But that's an obvious one. The second most notable one, I think this is like the key takeaway of the entire trip for me at least, is the people and the lifestyle. In comparison to America, in which I would say people are nice, but not like, everyone's a bit reserved and like, you know, self-based. But in the Peruvian society, everyone is I don't know how to explain it, but everyone's just a lot more positive, and they give off a nice like innocent like just happy energy. It's like everyone there's a family. It's like one big genuinely like united community, and that's not something you can actually say about a lot of places in the world, in my opinion. I feel like Peru, at least the places I was in Peru, they did a great job, or at least the people did a great job in like actually like just being a community. And I'm sure the government plays some role, I'm sure the culture plays some role, I'm sure that just the genuinely like the people themselves were just like nice people. And I don't know like how you can't mimic the effect either. Like I don't know how they managed to just make the people like just that way. And I sound really stupid, I feel like, trying to explain it, but generally everyone's really helpful, everyone's really nice. Despite the language barrier, everyone we asked for help, like they actually try to help us despite the language barrier. They're like, like I'll try, like you go over there, they can help you. And like everyone was nice, everyone we talked to was nice. Like shopkeepers are nice. You go to the shop, they lure you in, but it's not like American where they were like forcing you, like, oh, buy this, and you're like, oh, no, they lure you in and they're like, oh, you look at this, try it on. Looks good. You want another one? Like, they're super nice, and it's not trying to lure you in to buy anything. I mean, obviously, yeah, they are, but like, it's like wholesome. It's not like hooking people, and like, it's like everyone's just nice. They're there to make you happy, and they're there to be happy. Everyone's there to just chill, and like, you walk on the street, there's a bunch of people who are like, I'm surprised they don't do it in America, but like the people there got like crazy courage and big balls, because like they're out on the street like just like trying to get people to go to their restaurant. But like I said before, it's not like, in my opinion, it's not the same as like a creepy lure. It's like, oh, come try our food. We got like the good food, like como estas. They're all so positive, man. Maybe it's the language barrier. Maybe I like didn't hear bad stuff, but I mean the general energy I got from them was just so positive and like happy, and like the community itself is just generally really nice, and like their lifestyle is completely different in my opinion, because when I walked on the street, I feel like you can't differentiate between like socioeconomic class as you would in America. You can in America you can kind of look at people like, that guy's kind of poor, that guy's wearing a suit, must be like Elon Musk. But over there, everyone's just wearing like casual stuff, everyone's walking around, everyone's chill. And in my opinion, that's really cool how like there's no divide. Like the community, there's zero like diversity. No, that's not a good way to explain it. There's zero division within the community. It's all just like together. Everyone's just like one entity and like one group of like united people. And like I've noticed that over there they don't care about like getting like super rich or something. Like it's not like I need all the money. It's like, no, you meet your basic standards of living, and then you just chill, you have fun. They literally have a beach right next to them. They live in one of the most like fertile soil areas of the world. Like, they have everything they need, bro. They chill. They get some of the best food, the freshest fruit, like some of the nicest animals. They season their food like crazy. It tastes so good. And then they like, once their standard living conditions are like, once they have everything they need, they go to the beach and they like start surfing. Like, they're just so chill. They know how to live life. It's not like America where everyone's like fiending for money and getting depressed. Nah, like, I didn't see a single homeless person, not a single druggie. Just like genuinely happy people. Peruvian society is probably the closest I've seen to like a utopian society in like all the things I've seen everywhere else. But like, it's just like the closest thing I've seen to a perfect society in like any place in the world. But I mean, that's in my opinion. Who knows? You can like go there yourself and like compare. But I would say the people by far like are just better people. They're just like better. They're happier. They like and they're good people. Like you won't like ever be scared. And like we were walking down the street one day, or no, literally every day, and we'd be like looking around and like my mom likes to determine the safety of an area based on how many people are walking alone in the street. And there's plenty of people walking alone in the street. My mom's like, oh, this place is super safe. All these people just walk around. Like I literally saw some kids walking around, just like no parents, just like kids just roaming the street. I'm like, there's like 5-year-olds. I'm like, I mean that can't be responsible, but like still, like the confidence, like they don't fear anything. Everyone there is so chill. And I'm assuming if you commit a crime, the police will be on you in a matter of minutes. I'm just assuming. I didn't see anything because everyone's so nice regardless. But if you did do something bad, presumably the police will jump you in a few minutes. I would assume at least. But the people were great. The lifestyle is great. The culture is great. Just the general energy, the community is all just like really nice. But next, I said traffic. That is a noticeably different feature of Peru. Despite what I said about the people being great, their driving, I don't want to say it's bad. It's just a different style. It's just a different energy of driving, in the sense that they're crazy. But I don't want to be rude. But the first taxi that I got coming out of Peru, that guy, his car died on the street 7 times, and his GPS wasn't charged. On top of that, he was just a crazy driver. At first I thought it was just one bad driver, but no, that every single taxi is like that. And at that point, it's not even bad driving to me. It was just like, oh, this is just how they do things here. They're all just like crazy types of drivers. Like they're crazy. I don't really know how to explain it, because I come from like an American rural, like really low key area where there's never really like genuine traffic, and most drivers are sane and like super safe. But it's like a New York traffic. If you've ever been to New York, it's just like a super densely populated area. Everyone has places to be. And then take New York traffic and just like put it on steroids a little, like ×2, ×5, and you got Peruvian traffic, because it's just like the roads are packed at all times. It's just like hella busy. There's just cars everywhere, honking everywhere. You won't go anywhere without hearing like beeping. People take a chance to like cut through something and like find the opening and like get through, because it's that busy. You just have to take your chance, take your opportunity, and run through some places. And like other people like see you like trying to run through, and they like have to slam the brakes on you, and they don't mind either. It's not like, unless it's like super sketchy, like they like curse you out a little bit. But like most guys are like, oh, this guy's trying to like rush through, let him pass. Then you do some rushing. Like everyone's doing like their own crazy thing. But like yeah, they just have a different style of like driving. And on top, I mean, it's obviously due to just like busier traffic, densely populated areas. But I mean, even in some less densely populated areas, I just noticed their driving, they got some like big balls, bro. Like they're going crazy. Like they don't slam the brakes for nothing. Like no, they do this. They slam the brakes crazy hard when they need to, and then other than that, they're just speeding. I mean, I don't know if they're actually speeding, but like the drivers there are just, they're immaculate. They're godly creatures. When you're in a car, when you're in a taxi in Peru, it's like a roller coaster. Like it's like a living drug, bro. You're like just like getting thrown around in the car. You're like, I'm gonna die, and then you make it to your destination. You're like, that was pretty cool. You didn't die, and you just got the thrill of like a roller coaster. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty funny and pretty interesting. I don't know about those Fast and Furious movies. They're about like cars or something. I haven't watched them, but like I'm assuming if you put a GoPro in a Peruvian taxi and like get an hour of footage, I feel like that would be more interesting than like any Fast and Furious movie, even though I haven't watched the movie. But I'm just saying, Peruvian traffic is crazy. I don't think, to put it in perspective, I don't think an average American driver would last 2 minutes and like without getting in an accident in Peruvian traffic. I don't think they would make it. I think it's just that crazy. But it's interesting, and it's, like I said, it's on the list for one of the more like major differences in terms of society. I guess it depends on where you are in America on how the traffic functions, but like Peruvian traffic is, they're not human, bro. They're absolute creatures of society. But next, the price tax. Oh yeah, just like the conversion rate. In Peru, they use sols instead of USD dollars, so the conversion rate is 1 USD is 3.72 sols. So basically, every time you see a price tag in sols, you divide it by 3 or 4, and then you basically, that's the price in USD. And that's also when we realized, as we walked around, in Peru and all these places, we noticed that everything is extremely cheap compared to American prices. After you do after you convert from sols to USD, and then you look at what you were buying, and then you see the USD price, you're like, that's a great deal. And like I guess this is Peru is just one of those places with like that type of good deal, but everything is hella cheap, bro. Everything, like the food is cheap, the products are cheap, the people are nice. Like it's so nice, bro. It's godly, but like you go everywhere and like things are pretty cheap. The conversion rate, it is what it is. It's nothing about that, but in general, the pricing of things, this is the major difference. The pricing, everything's just cheaper, and it's not to say quality isn't. It's not saying quality is worse at all either, because like this thing was cheap, this thing was like pretty cheap in my opinion. It's like a souvenir too, and it was like, this thing is like top tier quality, bro. Alpaca clothing, like this thing is fire. But like, yeah, everything is cheap, but it's also good quality. So in that sense, it's like it's perfect. And also, there's no tax or tip in some situations. We tip out of like the goodness of our heart. Over there, they just like, I mean, it's the same thing. You tip out of the goodness. Actually, no. Over here in America, it's like forced tipping and forced tax. Over there, it's like zero tax and optional tipping, like genuinely optional tipping. But we tipped a little bit because like, or we tipped if like they were really nice, which most of them are because they're just all really nice people. But no tax, no tip. So when you get the price tag, when you get the receipt and it's exactly what the price was on the menu, that's a mind blown for me. I don't know why, because like you buy a food for like 10 sols, you get the receipt and it says 10 sols, you're like, no tax, no tip, it's 10 sols. It was, you bought it for 10 sols and you paid 10 sols. Like they don't got no greedy government coming in taxing everything, bro. It's golden society, bro. I'm telling you. But yeah, that's in terms of the money, just like pricing and like that stuff. Pretty big-ish difference. The food, we're reaching like the most brain dead obvious ones. But yeah, food in Peruvian food is very different from American food. It's hard to explain. I didn't actually get the entire vibe of their food. Peruvian chicken I tried. I tried ceviche. It's like fish type dish. I don't actually know, if I'm being honest. Peruvian chicken was very good. It's just like really well seasoned. And then like the inside, it's just like, it's all. The Peruvian style food is like the seasoning. It's like really, it's ambitious, bro. Like you eat a little bit of that and it's just like, you're good, bro. You got the food. Once you get the flavor, the bomb of flavor, it's just mass. And that's why they just serve like fries with everything. Because once you just like, you get the flavor and then you stuff yourself with fries, you're good for the day, bro. That's like enough calories to last you a week. But like food, in terms of food, everything's cheap and they give you extreme large quantities. That's why, like, I don't understand how that works and why we're not doing that. But no, like in America it's all like scams, but over there it's like, no, you pay a cheap price and you get tons of food too. Like the godly deal, bro. I paid $8, got hella rice, hella fries, 2 beef patties, hella peppers, freaking some vegetables and like plantains, sauces. Like that place is too good, bro. In terms of like having a good deal, if you ask anyone like, is it worth buying stuff, you can't even say no in any situation, because even if you don't like what you bought, it was still such a good deal that you didn't even get ripped off, because it was just, you didn't lose any money in the first place. It was just like hella cheap. But yeah, the food is great. I think the Peruvian chicken, the ceviche, it was interesting. I think it was okay. It was interesting though. I tried baked guinea pig because Peter told me to. It was a bit traumatizing. It tastes basically like chicken. It was an interesting experience. It tasted pretty good, but I didn't eat the head because that's like a moral boundary for me. I'm not gonna eat the guinea pig's head. His teeth were there and his eye sockets were there, so that kind of traumatized me a little bit. But yeah, I tried the baked guinea pig, and then I'm sure I tried some other stuff. But yeah, their food is interesting. I've read in a museum later that they have like the area of the earth, like they have the most like fertile soil there, or like generally like good land, and their fish, like the sea next to them is like the conversion of 2 currents, and it's like a really well like healthy area. So like all the food they eat is like top tier in terms of like genuine health, and also in terms of like flavor and stuff. So like their food is really good and hella cheap, and it's just all around like chef's kiss, like perfect society. But Religion. I learned a lot about the religion in the museum where they explain like it went through freaking before Christ BC all the way up to like the Incan Empire. We learned that before the Incan Empire there was like still 10,000 like years of Peruvian history. We also learned, or I saw in the museum, it put Peru as one of the emerging first societies. And so last year they taught us like the four first societies formed like ever in human civilization, and it was like China, India, Egypt, and Mesopotamia. And then on the other side, they forgot to mention apparently Mexico and Peru. I think I might have to fact check that, but Peru they do label as one of the first emerging individual societies that like came out on its own. And of course they did, because they got one of the coolest places. Of course they're gonna stay there, stick around, and like make a nice society. They got like fish, they got land, they got like they got everything, bro. That place is fire. But yeah, it's an emerging society, and I learned about their religion, which was, or their old religion, which was first based on the whole three divine areas, which is like the heaven, earth, and hell type thing. Similar to Christianity, but it's like just the upper realm, which is divine and represented or ruled by birds, and then the middle realm, earth, like land, normal land, which is ruled by cats and or any feline or like a lizard type thing. It's like those two things. That's why they're like state or everyone likes. It's the puma, the cheetah type thing. But any feline really is like the dominator of the middle earth ground area. But the underground is ruled by serpents, I think. So that was like the basis of the religion. It's just like birds, cats, and serpents. Birds, felines, and serpents. That's basically all it was. So then in the museum you see all this art that's revolved around connecting the three. So you see a weird like serpent body with a bird head and like a cat like feet coming out. So it's like it's a bit odd, but it's culture. It was interesting. So yeah, that's the religion aspect of it. That's why I see it was just interesting to learn that their aspect of religion, and also interesting to see that like three divine state area that's like kind of a similar echo through a lot of religions throughout the world, despite them being completely opposite sides of the earth. Everyone decided to like think of the same thing, which is there's an upper realm, there's a lower realm, and then there's here earth, and then there's like gods and stuff in all religions. But it was interesting to see that connection. But next is animals. Oh yeah, animals in general, alpacas and llamas. Those are cool in South America. We got this stuff. They don't kill them; they shear them, and then they make this, which is nice. They kill them for the alpaca food, though. Oh yeah, that's one of the foods, alpaca meat. I tried it. It was really good. I don't like the concept of killing alpacas though, but I mean, I can't be vegan nowadays. I eat plenty of meat. I do like animals though, so tragically they died. I'm getting off track. I'm like losing my brain, but. Animals. There's a bunch of parks where they just have there was a park in Lima where there was just a ton of cats everywhere, and initially I was really confused. Looking later, after I went to the museum, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's because cats are divine and they think that cats will guard the area or something. But I don't think it's actually that connected. But there was a park flooded with cats. When I say flooded, I mean if you at any moment do a 360, you can see at least 3 cats, I'd say. So you walk around and there's just cats everywhere. And you walk, and no. The best part is it's not like the cats are a nuisance. Like in American society, if there was a cat, actually then they wouldn't care either. But over there, it's not like the cats are annoying anyone. It's like you walk around and the cat just crosses the street and you're like, oh hi cat. It's just there. It's like it coexists. The cats and the people are just chill with each other. They the people go around, they feed the cats, they pet the cats. The cats just sit there. They're like, oh, what's up, bro? You got any food? Bless up. There's no homeless people, but there's cats. So I mean, it's so funny because it's cute because all the people go around. They're like, oh, hi cat. They crawl up to obnoxious places and until they're taller than people. They're looking down on you from roofs. And you're like, how did bro get up there? But I went around, I pet a lot of cats. I didn't feed them anything because I'm not gonna give them my food. That's all mine. But I pet some cats. One of them scratched me like a little bum. But overall, the cats they're super nice. The animals are just super nice. In other cities in the mountains, there was a bunch of dogs just everywhere. I don't know why I switched from cats to dogs, but over there's just a bunch of dogs, and they're all extremely chill, just like the cats. People feed them, they walk around. They're not aggressive. They're not gonna hurt you. They just walk around. They look at you like, hey, you got any food, man? oh, they take a nap straight in the street. I like stood over one and it opened its eyes and it like side-eyed me. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Let me sleep. I'm like, all right, bro, I'll let you go. I just walk away. He looks at me and then he goes back to sleep. Like they're like people, honestly. They're just people as dogs. So like, I don't know. It's actually like one of the only places where I believe, or I don't actually believe, but like it's like reincarnated people, just like as animals, just walking around, just chilling around. But yeah, the animals just like everywhere. That's definitely a big difference in terms of like society, I guess. You don't see that in America. You don't. I mean, I'm sure there's some place out there with just like a park full of dogs, but I mean, we don't have like cities just like, or just like towns full of animals everywhere. So like, I think it's interesting, especially I don't know how the animals don't mess with society or like don't overrun the place at some point, but they've stayed, or like they were there when I went, and I'm sure they'll still be there when I left, and I'm sure they were there for a long time, and I'm sure they're there to stay. Like, I don't know how they manage the animals, but they're still there, and I'm sure they'll stay there. So that's pretty cool. And then last on the list, I put geography. Obviously, South America is a very different geographically built place, mainly being the mountains. In my place, specifically, I mean, obviously America is huge and there's a bunch of different places, but I mean, my area is pretty flat and like nothing really here. But over there, it's obviously the big mountainside and like all the big stuff. We went to Machu Picchu, by the way, in the mountains, so it's beautiful. The mountains are just super nice. You look one way, you see this big mountain. You look the other way, it's a big mountain. There's like trees on the big mountain. Like how did the trees grow on the side of a mountain? Like how is that possible? But like it's like super green. It's not like it's not dead. It's like a nice green mountain. So it's like it's pretty nice. It's very nice. And when you're there, it's like the air is nice. And if you go up to a high altitude, depending on who you are, you will feel it differently. The way I felt it is when I got there, I didn't feel anything. When I took a nap and woke up, I had a massive headache. It felt like crap. So I woke up and I'm like, this sucks. And then I tried some of the tea because you're supposed to drink some tea to like make you like the altitude sickness better. But we drank the tea. Me and my mom drank the tea, and it didn't really do anything. We felt exactly the same. But yeah, geographically wise, it was different. It's the mountainside. In Lima, it's like just next to a beach. It's really flat, probably because Lima's more modernized and it's just like a nice like big city area. But yeah, Lima is more, I mean, if you're talking in terms of altitude above sea level, Lima's literally at the sea level because there's literally the Pacific Ocean right next to it. Cusco and the other mountain little towns are like, like 7,000 feet or something, and they're like really high, so you get altitude sickness depending on where you are and who you are. But yeah, geographically wise is another difference. I'm sure there are a lot of other differences, but those were the main comparisons and differences between the two societies. I just wanted to like express and like remember this stuff. I'll probably do another one and just go through blatant like the timeline of every place I went to and where I visited, what I did, and all that good stuff. But yeah, that is my comparison of American and Peruvian society. Overall, the biggest difference to me would probably be the people. Also language, but that's obvious. But the people in general in Peru, I'd say, objectively, my opinion, I would say the people are nicer and better overall. Compared to America, at least, I think America has its pros and cons. Peruvian society has pros and cons. It's hard to say which one I prefer. Like I live in America and I like it here, but I also really liked it over there, and I don't really, honestly, I wouldn't even know what to say if you asked like which one's better. But their people are better. I'll just say that. I like their people. Their like energy way better than America. But everything outside that to me is kind of like, it's like debatable. But yeah, that's just the differences between society that I base my judgment off of. Peru is fire.